right. Rev it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race. Feel the thrill, feel the chase. Victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste in this high-octane haste. Every corner, every taste leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream. This is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might. Push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight. Racing on with all our might.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here with the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here this afternoon from the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway. Now, drivers rolling out there onto the racetrack as we get ready to go green flag racing here. Starting on the pole in the number 18, that is Jacob Grube to his inside here. Well, it's going to be his outside. That is Sean Jensick, who will start in the second spot. We see Nick Garner there in position number 4 with Nicholas Snyder starting there in the third position. Starting in position number 5 in the 33, that is Nathan Nixon. To his outside, that is Chris Gilbert. Then we see Michael Madden, Braden DeBing, Jason LePan, and Edward Koschersberger bringing up our top 10 here this afternoon. And then we see Daniel Dow, Kevin Winker, Brett Summers, Ryan Peterson, Jonathan Herbert, Neil Lapidus in the 26, the number 41 of Nathaniel Ostrowski, Robert Blair there in the 75 ride. The 76 is Jeremy Lucy, the 13 is Kyle Van Tassel, and bringing up the rear of the field, that is Austin Gustafson, and one driver who will start down on pit road. It's Brian Chu who will start down pit side as our 22 drivers here this afternoon get ready to rumble from the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway. Kyle says, who's got money on 42? I have 3K on him. All right, 4K. I don't know, 4K on Kevin Winker to get the dump. Those are some pretty good odds. I don't know, man. Jacob Grube's going to be tough. Nick Gardner, Nicholas Snyder. There's some road course ringers out there on the Speedway. They're definitely going to be some tough cookies to beat here this evening. Yo, what's good? Justin, Mr. Young coming in, showing the love. What's good, Justin? Justin coming in, showing the love here in this one as well over there on the YouTube broadcast as we get ready to rumble here with the Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series here this afternoon from the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway. The pace car will turn down pit road, and that will unleash us to the green flag as we are quickly green flag racing here from Watkins Glen International Speedway. Sean Jensick in the 18 rider, Jacob Grube door to door down through corner number 1. Grube looking to try to use the momentum, but the outside Grube is going to pay dividends there for the 29 of Sean Jensick, as Jensick will take the race lead. Now, I do believe here on lap number 1, a few of these drivers will have to make their way down pit side due to previous penalties from last week. Well, a couple weeks ago, I do believe we're going to see Stephen Naylor, Derek Puckett, Sean Jensick. I do believe, I'm not sure who C is, but one other driver will also head down pit road here in this one. So a couple drivers going to have to make their way down pit side here, and unfortunately, actually, I do believe that's Chris Gilbert, who's also going to have to go for a pass-through penalty here this afternoon. A couple drivers running into issues deeper throughout the field. We'll take a look back and see what happens to them as Sean Jensick is going to round it in corner number 10? I don't even know what number we're on, but it is quarter number whatever there. I think it's 7 or 8, I think, here at Watkins Glen. And it's Sean Jensick who will lead lap number 1. Now, I do believe lap number 2 is when these drivers will serve their pass-through penalties in this 29 ride. Out in front, showing a lot of speed. He'll be one of those competitors that will have to make his way down pit side. Jacob Grube may know that he may have that in the back of his mind, knowing to not push this truck a little bit too hard here early in the race, knowing that the number 29 will have to make his way down pit side through a pass-through penalty. But Nicholas Snyder, Nick Gardner, Nathan Nixon. Our top 5 here on the Speedway. Michael Madden back there at 6 with Jason LePan, Brandon Deming, Edward Koshersberger, and Daniel Dow rounding out our top 10. As Richard Bradshaw says, let's go LePan, number 20, cheering on that 20 ride out there on the Speedways. There you go, you do see the 20 ride, the Michael's Warrior Project number 20 machine. LePan currently in the 7th position as Sean Jensick this time, no, not coming down pit road as of yet. Now they do have pass-through penalties, so I'm surprised we haven't seen them come down pit road as of yet, but I do know that they're going to have to make their way for a pass-through penalty here in a quick hurry, so I'll have to wait and see when they decide to come down pit road. As right there, Sean Jensick just laid down the quickest lap time here on the evening, but let's take a look back as we saw Austin Gustafson and Jonathan Herbert run into some issues here early in this race. So this is down the back straightaway headed into the bus stop. See what issues they may have ran into. So the Arnold Palmer, tough break right there for Austin Gustafson. Tough break right there for Jonathan Herbert, as I do believe Herbert just gets onto the binders here, and the rear end of the truck just kind of pulls out and around on him here. Let's take another look at this one, as this is definitely something you normally don't see out of these trucks, as he gets onto the binders a little too hard, and the truck just steps out, locks up that left rear, unfortunately pulls him right down in front of the 9 right of Austin Gustafson, and nowhere to go there for Austin as Austin slams into the side of him there, and both drivers trying to get their trucks pointed back out onto the racetrack, but running into those early issues. As here we go, here comes the pass-through penalty for the 29 right of Sean Jensick. Jensick down pit road here in this one, so giving up that race lead, and he is quickly falling down that leaderboard here for the 29 machine as the Sparkly Shine Anything EC Toyota heads down pit side. We'll have to wait and see where he comes out and how far back this is going to put him, and with no stage breaks, no real caution flags, will he have enough time throughout this race to try to gain that ground back up and be able to make some more passes and get back into the battle, as he's all the way back now into the 16th position. So he fell back 14 spots here, actually 15 positions from where he was running, now back in 16th. So from 1st to 16th there, and I do believe the gap is about 20 seconds between himself and Jacob Grube. So 20 seconds, 15 other drivers that he would have to pass to get himself back out in front, as Jacob Grube the last time around as well just laid down the fastest lap of the race, beating Sean Jensick by about 1/1000th of a second there, and knocking him off the top spot for the quick time here in this feature event. So Grube out in front, looking to try to run away with it here. 3.3 seconds back. You see Nicholas Snyder there in position number 2, the beautiful HendrickCars.com number 57 right there in second, then Nick Gardner right there in position number 3. Nathan Nixon in the Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 33 rolls there in 4th, with Jason LePan now inside the top 5. So LePan now into that 5th position as Michael Madden slides back to 6th. Brandon Deming, Edward Koshersberger, Daniel Dow, and Jeremy Lucy already up 10 positions here for the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters number 76. Ryan Lucy's been working his way up and through the field, as Janelle says, let's go HP Motorsports, cheering on the Ridge Powersports and the KR Gutters crew. Tower operator, our boy Mr. Muehlberger, cheering on Kevin Winker Nation, rolling just outside the top 10 right now, scored in the 11th position here for Kevin Winker. So we'll have to wait and see if Winker can get that right up towards the front of the field, see if he can try to find a way to get that Muehlberger Custom Homes ride into victory lane, as this not only is just a great race already, we're seeing some great action. We also seeing a road course here during our Michael's Warrior Project HCK Beagles Truck Series playoffs as well. So this is playoff race number 2 for these drivers. So there's a lot on the line. You want to make it through to the next round. You don't want to run into issues. And one of those issues we just saw right there through corner number 1 for Jeremy Lucy. Lucy had worked himself quite a ways up and through the field here. And then down into corner number 1, going to have some issues. Looks like he gets in a little too hot. Going to get onto the binders, and that car's just going to go around right there. Ooh, baby, hang on to her, and luckily enough, able to get that truck stopped before slamming into those tire barriers there in corner number 1, and he'll slide all the way back into about the 15th position on the speedway. So a couple tough breaks right there for Jeremy Lucy. We also see Brian Chu running into issues. Now we did see Chu come onto the racetrack here. He unfortunately had to start from down on pit road, and he's been trying to make up that ground, trying to rebound from that, and down through corner number 1. Looks like almost the same. He actually already has heavy left front damage here on the 51 ride, so he must have got a piece of the wall somewhere, and he's going to take that car down pit side. So a tough break there in that one. As Justin Young says, I hope LePan can get the party started. Yeah, LePan, he may be getting the party started, man. He's been on the move as well. Biggest mover so far throughout our top 10 is that 20 ride as LePan works himself into that 5th position. Another good mover here now inside the top 10. Robert Blair. Blair up 10 spots as well. So Bobby Blair working his way towards the front here, just getting around Kevin Winker for that 10th position. So move the Muleburger Custom Homes 42 back into the 11th position, and look who's coming back. That is Sean Jensick, our early race leader, the Anything EC Sparkle and Shine 29 ride, who unfortunately ran into issues early in this race and had to do that pass-through penalty from previous race. So unfortunately, that pass-through coming up, biting him in the butt ever so slightly. It shoved him back all the way from the 1st position back to 16th, but here he is trying to work his way back inside the top 10, now into the 11th spot, and has Bobby Blair right there in front of him, hoping to get around that 75 ride and work himself back inside the top 10 here this afternoon. But he has lost about 2.5 seconds now to Jacob Grube. So Grube, who is out in front, has continued to stretch out that lead between himself and the 29 rider Sean Jensick, and he's also been able to stretch out that lead between himself and our 2nd place driver Nicholas Snyder. 5.5 seconds now between 1st and 2nd here on the speedway. Nick Gardner there in 3rd. He's about 2.5 seconds back here, and that's 8 seconds back of our race leader, 2.5 seconds back of our 2nd place driver. So Jacob Grube out in front. He is laying down some great lap times and continuing to stretch that race lead out more and more and more, lap by lap by lap. And man, this has been some pretty interesting stuff, and watching these guys duke it out there on the racetrack, as we have seen Sean Jensick work his way around Bobby Blair for that 10th position. He does have a pretty good gap between himself and Daniel Dow here, about 5 seconds or so between Sean Jensick and that 2 machine. So we'll have to keep an eye on the 29, see if he can keep on working his way up and through the field. And just looking at him now, getting some good runs and starting to close that gap in just ever so slightly on Jacob Grube, as we do see Kevin Winker slide back a little farther here. He's going to allow that Ridge Powersports number 469 of Ryan Peterson to roll around him there on the front straightaway, and Winker will go back into that 13th position here on the speedway. But it's Jacob Grube out in front. We'll have to keep an eye on all the action, all the drivers that may be running into issues, maybe going off the racetrack, as there is a penalty for having too many incidents out there on the speedway. Now, what iRacing does is, if you really go over certain areas on the racetrack, if you go over those chicanes down on the bottom side of these corners, you cut the corner a little bit, they'll count that as a penalty. So sometimes it'll be a 2x, sometimes it'll be a 4x, and if you get too many of those little x's, If you hit 50 of them, you will unfortunately receive your first penalty, and every 15 incident points after that, you will get an additional penalty. So to make sure you don't have those issues, you want to make sure you keep your truck within the racing limits and not having too many issues out there, or too much contact with a fence or other truck, or going down and around. As this is the big spot that's really going to hurt drivers, is these chicanes right here. You can get a penalty right there, you could get one for cutting the course a little too sharp there, or right there. So those 4 chicanes going down through that bus stop on the back straightaway, that could put you into a dark hole in a quick hurry, man. Getting too many of those penalties, having too many mistakes down there through the bus stop could unfortunately put a quick end to your night out there on the speedway. As you do see Jonathan Herbert unfortunately fall a lap down here in the Ridge Powersports number 89, as the Noma machine currently rolls back in the 21st position. Has some left front damage, and he's going to tag that outside fence here again, and now he's going to take this truck down pit side. Heavy left front contact here for the 87, as Jason LePan taking his truck down pit road. A tough break right there for that 87 machine, as Shauna says hashtag Winker Nation. Cheer on Mr. Winker out there on the speedway as well. Winker doing a fantastic job out there on the speedway. All these drivers doing a pretty bang up job out there on the racetrack, giving us a great race and a great show again here this afternoon. Is a lot of battling, a lot of back and forth out there on the speedway, and we're inching closer and closer and closer to where we're going to actually see majority of these drivers head down pit side for some green flag pit stops. So green flag pit stops could be on the horizon here in a quick hurry. We could really start to see a lot of drivers head down pit road, trying to get some repairs, trying to get some fresh tires, and they're gonna need that fuel, and that's gonna be the big thing. You can conserve the tires, you can keep them underneath of you and not have too many issues tire wear wise. But we are going to see a little tire fall off. The tires are going to get these trucks a little bit slower. They're going to be slipping and sliding as the trucks get a little lighter, especially out there on the speedway. So as the fuel kind of gets burnt up, the rear ends get a little bit lighter. They start to lift up, and that's where the tire wear, the spin outs, and everything can really start to be a major factor here on Watkins Glen International Speedway Banks. As you do see that 18 right out in front, just continuing to storm down these laps, continuing to try to work himself farther and farther away, and has almost opened up a 9-second lead between him and Nicholas Snyder. See that? Almost the entire straightaway right there between him and that 57 right. So he's continuing to pull away, continuing to show these drivers how to get it done. Another driver that was out in front, leading laps early in this race, still laying down good lap times, is the number 29 of Sean Jensick. You see Jensick is finally about to roll up into this bus stop after serving his pass-through penalty. He's working on the back bumper of the 19 of Edward Kochersberger just rolling out there, currently scored in that 8th position, but maybe at risk of losing that, as here comes that very fast Toyota looking to try to get around that 19 right here this afternoon. Some great racing action, some great battles, and still the gap between this 29 right of Jensick and our race leader Jacob Grube, it hasn't grown a whole lot, but it is about it's grown about 4.5 seconds since that pass-through penalty on lap number 3. So over the last 10 laps or so, he hasn't made any ground on the 18 ride with no caution flags, and potentially not really having any issues out there for the 18 ride. Jacob Grube could be trying to just pull away from everybody here and putting this 18 ride back up into victory lane, and a big win here during the playoffs for Jacob Grube. So we'll have to keep an eye on all of these drivers, all the action out here, as we did see Ryan Peterson run into some other issues here. Let's take a look. This may be where he gets the initial damage on the 87. Gets loose out of the corner there, just past the bus stop, and unfortunately goes around right there. Takes that outside fence down the very good little back straightaway right there. He's trying to get this truck turned back around, and that's where we're going to see our race leader come up here in a quick hurry, I do believe, and we're going to see him get into the outside fence. We also saw Ryan Peterson run into multiple issues here. Actually, not Ryan Peterson, Jonathan Herbert, who's ran into some issues, got into that wall. Now Ryan Peterson, they have the same looking trucks, so we did see one of them already running into those issues. Now Ryan Peterson running into those issues as well, so a tough break for a couple of those cats out there on the speedway as Peterson back into the 15th position after that spin. We did see Jonathan Herbert take his truck down pit side, and he is still down there on pit road, so a very tough break there for the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters team here this afternoon as a couple drivers running into issues. And for the Winker Nation fans, there is Mr. Winker out there on the speedway. Kevin continuing to roll there in that 13th spot on the speedways. Now we do see Neil Lapidus running into some issues here. So Lapidus in the OSuckOutdoors.com number 26 machine. That Ford ride rolling a little deeper in the field. There's our race leader. He's actually just going to pull down and misses the chicane right there and allows our race leader to go on by him without affecting his race. So a good veteran move, a very respectful move there out of that number 26 as he's going to be able to pull down out of the way of our race leader, but that does put Neil Lapidus a lap down out there on the speedway. Well, tough break there for Neil Lapidus. Kyle Van Tassel, potentially the next driver to go a lap down out here on the speedway as, ooh, it does look like Neil Lapidus may have ran into some more issues after the fact here. After we saw him pull down and out of the way of our race leader, Lapidus send it into corner number 1, and he's going to loop it, coming back onto the throttle, make some contact there with those infield tires, and luckily enough, he's able to keep that truck rolling. Doesn't look like too much damage there for Neil Lapidus, but we also saw Jeremy Lucy run into issues here again as well. So the 76 ride, power it down and into here, unfortunately gets up a little bit high right there, able to catch the car though and get rolling here again, and looks like out of corner number 7 or 8 there. I don't see any contact, so I'm not sure. It just shows him went off the racetrack there. I think just off that 6th corner on the speedway, so a tough break there for him, but real no damage or anything. No big bad issue there for the 76 ride. So a good break for Jeremy Lucy as he was able to work himself around the 42 of Kevin Winker. Winker slides back into the 13th spot here once again, but now has that Goss number 41 ride. That is Nathaniel Ostrowiecki in that 41 machine, rolling back there in that number 41. He's trying to get around the 42 of Kevin Winker as they are both in that 13th and 14th position here on the speedway as the gas ride. They're in position number 14. Ryan Peterson a little farther back. They're in 15th. Brett Summers in the Boston Web Marketing number 7 ride. They're in 16th. Austin Gustafson right there with him as the Arnold Palmer half and half iced tea. The Napa Auto Parts ride rolls there in 17th. Then we see Chris Gilbert back in 18th. Kyle Van Tassel there in the 90th spot with Neil Lapidus down and off the racetrack there. Letting some of our lead lap drivers roll around him here as Lapidus back in 20th. Jonathan Herbert back out on the racetrack, scored in 21st. And Brian Chu, unfortunately, off and out of this race as Jacob Grube continues to lead the way. Grube out in front, and he is definitely in a groove here this afternoon as he has been able to groove his way to a 11-second lead here. 11 seconds between himself and Nicholas Snyder. Snyder trying to chase him down, trying to hang with him. Unfortunately, that number 18 truck getting smaller and smaller and smaller out of the front windshield. I don't even know if you can see him down here in the bus stop. You virtually can't. So you can't even see our race leader here in the eyesight of this number 57. He sees the 13 rider Kyle Van Tassel right there in front of him that he's trying to put a lap down behind him here as well. But right now, our race leader, a massive, massive advantage, a massive lead here. You don't even see him coming down the straightaway right now as the lead is absolutely insane. As there you go, you see him going through the final quarter. We'll take a look here as he goes down and across the start-finish line here. We'll take a look back and see where Nicholas Snyder is and show you the gap right there. So he's just coming down to corner number 7 and down into corner number 8. The whole front straightaway is basically all Jacob Grube here on the racetrack, man. He is laying down a great race and some great laps still out there on the speedway, and he's still pulling away from Sean Jensick as well. I figured Jensick would be able to reel him in and run some better laps than the 18 ride, but the fresh air, not having to make all those passes and everything else, Jensick has been able to rebound and still putting himself into a great position here this afternoon, but with no caution flags or anything else. Gonna have his work cut out for him. 27 seconds now between himself and Jacob Grube, and now he's gotta try to get around the number 20 ride of Jason LePan. LePan is in that 5th position. LePan currently there in 5th, has Sean Jensick back there behind him. If LePan knows that Jensick is one of those drivers that could potentially run up there at the front of the field and maybe put the pressure on his teammate Jacob Grube, maybe he runs him a little bit tougher, maybe doesn't let him get by super easily and tries to hold him up that little bit more out there on the racetrack, trying to slow up that number 29 ride and keep him a little farther back there at bay. Is out in front. Jacob Grube just moving away here and continuing to just pull away from everybody else on the racetrack. Man, what a run, what a drive already for the Michaels Warrior Project number 18 out there on the speedway. Is I'm gonna get ready to crack into a Red Bull here. I don't know why I'm yawning. I am tired. I did work all day, shoveled a lot of yards of gravel and a lot of lugging heavy 6x6 lumber up and down hills, so I'm feeling it here this afternoon. I'm very, very sore, but we're not tired. We are locked in. We are focused, and we are going to get ready to give you guys the best show that we can possibly do. I'm going to crack into this Red Bull as we're going to get ready to crank it up here. So you guys crank up that volume level and crank up that volume as we're going to jump into a Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here from Watkins Glen International Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is the Michaels Warrior Project HCK Beagles Truck Series Playoff Race number 2. Crank it up. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session out there on the speedway as these drivers give us the sights and sounds around the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway here this afternoon in the iRacing NASCAR trucks. As out in front, continuing to lead the way, it is that number 18 ride of Jacob Grube. Grube continues to show these drivers how to get it done here in this one as the Michael's Warrior Project number 18 ride continues to lead the way. Nicholas Snyder continued to stay there in second, but Snyder all the way back 20 seconds just going down through the bus stop as Jacob Grube down through corner number 7 there on the speedway down into corner number 8, and Nicholas Snyder just going through corner number 6 here on the speedway. So a pretty good lead there for Jacob Grube. It's Grube out in front by over 20 seconds and another 10 seconds back here behind our second place driver. You do see Sean Jensick, our early race leader, the number 29, the Anything EC ride. They're in the third spot, but all the way back 31 seconds behind Jacob Grube. So after serving that pass-through penalty from the top spot on the racetrack, having to work his way all the way down pit lane and letting all these drivers go on by him as he had to make that pass-through penalty, he went from first all the way back to 16th. He is now battled back into the third position. Unfortunately, though, being back in that third spot, he is still 30 seconds back. When he came back out onto the racetrack, he was only about 20 seconds behind Jacob Grube. So in that time frame of having to come down pit lane over the last 25 laps, he's lost 10 seconds here to Jacob Grube. So Grube has been able to continue to keep that 29 ride, at bay and continue to build that lead up and not let him gain anything there on the 18 machine here this evening. As Jacob Grube down across the start-finish line right there, you do see Sean Jensick just rolling down through corner number 5 and just coming out of corner number 5 there. And this is a long trip, man. 30 seconds is a huge, huge gap, especially at a racetrack like Watkins Glen International Speedway, where it's pretty tough to gain a extremely enormous amount of time, unless if one of those drivers up towards the front of the field run into an issue. And right now, a lot of these drivers that are around, Jacob Grube and Sean Jensick are kind of sitting ducks as these two continuously keep putting up 13-second lap times. A lot of these other drivers like Nicholas Snyder, Nick Gardner, and Jason LePan, they are all continuously rolling in the 14-second bracket, so they're about a second faster than anybody else out there on the racetrack. So Jacob Grube and Nick Snyder are both really doing a great job here this afternoon, managing their trucks, managing their tires, and managing their track position, and obviously taking that track position, taking the race lead away from Jensick as he had to make that pass-through penalty, and he's used it to his full advantage. 31 seconds still separating those two as again down out of corner number 8 and across the line. Jacob Grube will click off another lap as we are on the second half of this feature event, and we're inching closer and closer now to our checkered flag. And right now Grube is looking he's looking pretty good. He's sailing out there on the speedway in that Michael's Warrior Project ride, looking for a huge win, a big win here in playoff race number 2 here this afternoon. Now, Nicholas Snyder doing a pretty good job here himself, continuing to roll there in that second position, but he is losing more and more time to our race leader, now back to almost 25 seconds behind Jacob Grube, and about 7 seconds behind him we do see Sean Jensick. Jensick in that Anything EC ride back there in the third position. About 6 seconds behind Jensick, we do see Nick Gardner here in the Napa Auto Parts number 16 truck, and about 4 seconds behind him, we see the 20 ride of Jason LePan. LePan still hanging on to that 5th spot here on the speedway, but right there behind him is Nathan Nixon and Brandon DeMaine, probably 3 of the closest battling cars out there on the speedway, and they're trying to make it forward as they're trying to reel in Nick Gardner, who currently sits in that 4th position. Sitting in the 8th position, a little farther back, there is the Sparkle and Shine ride of Michael Madden, and about 8 seconds behind him, and down this back straightaway, we see the 19 of Edward Kochersberger. A bit behind him, we do see the 75 ride of Robert Blair, as Blair down through the bus stop there in the Ridge Powersports KR Gutters ride has Daniel down back there behind him. Jeremy Lucy now entering the bus stop here himself. Mateo Ostrowiecki down this back straightaway towards that bus stop has Chris Gilbert right there behind him. Austin Gustafson there in the 15th spot. Kevin Winker, the Winker Nation ride all the way back here in the 16th spot on the speedway. Right there behind him is Neil Lapidus. Lapidus currently scored in the 20th position. He's one of the drivers that is a lapper, multiple laps down out there on the speedway now is Ryan Peterson back here in position number 17. Now, I do believe Peterson is not the first truck one lap down. That is Austin Gustafson, I do believe, or maybe Chris Gilbert. No, it is Austin Gustafson. No, it is Chris Gilbert. Gilbert's a lap down. Ostrowiecki's a lap down. It's Ostrowiecki who is the first truck one lap down on the speedway in the 13th spot here. Jacob Grube has been flying through this field and putting these drivers down in a quick hurry, putting them a lap down out there on the speedways. He's going after Jeremy Lucy here in just a little bit. Here he is in behind that 76 ride, trying to put our 12th place driver a lap down here on the speedway. He's going back there behind Kevin Winker. We did see Ryan Peterson and Brent Summers there in the 18th position. We see Kyle Van Tassel there in 19th. Lapidus all the way back in 20th with Jonathan Herbert there in 21st. And Brian Chu down and out of this race, and he is down pit side. I've left a voicemail for Elon. Ask Ty. Perfect. Hey, I love it. I love it. Did you leave a voicemail for Elon for me, or did you leave Elon a message for yourself? Asked him to give me money for a brewery, I think. Not sure what I asked him for. Oh gosh. Did you just call Tesla or something? Call Tesla and leave him a message? Say, this is for Elon. Hey, listen, give him another call. Give him another ring. Tell him, listen, Peacemaker Gaming needs a small loan of like $10 million. Let's not even call it a loan. Let's call it a grant. Let's call it a grant for $10 million. And listen, I'll broadcast every single one and commentate every single one of his liftoffs. I will do it. I'll be the guy to count down the numbers. Liftoff in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All engines engaged. Liftoff. I can do it. Elon, hire your boy. Worth a shot, right? Yeah, it's definitely worth a shot. Yeah, for myself, it was a few months ago. Hey, you never know. Elon, he likes to dip. He likes to, put his toes into a little bit of everything, he's a toe man, okay? He likes to just dip them in there. Soak him a little bit, get in on the action. I like it. It's Jacob Grube. He's dipping his toes into what could be a big win here this afternoon as he continues to lead the way. It continues to stretch out that race lead as Jacob Grube and Nicholas Snyder 1 and 2, but they are separated now by 28 seconds, almost 28 seconds between our top two competitors out there on the speedway. Snyder also has about 5 seconds between himself and Sean Jensick as you see Snyder just about to go down and across the start finish line. Here's our race leader headed down the back straightaway and towards the bus stop. That is the gap between first and second on the speedway. As Justin says, sexy as fun. If I was Elon, I'd hire you. I know, right? Listen, Elon, if you're watching, brother, email's on the front page, brother. Email my business account. I'll fly down to Florida or Texas or wherever it is you're launching them spaceships, brother, and I'll be the man in the ground. I'll make the calls. I'll make everything. It'll be the most exciting rocket launch that's ever happened. I can promise you that. And only for a small cost of like $1 million. No, I'm just kidding. I would do that for like nothing. I would do that just for the experience of being able to do that and meet Elon Musk. But nonetheless, his group out in front continue to lead the way. Jensic back there in that third spot here. We're trying to track down Nicholas Snyder here. Hasn't really been able to find the ground he's been looking for to catch up to that 57 ride. Is Justin with the hashtag Elon Musk. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, right now in the comment section, let's get some hashtag Elon Musks. Let's get them in here. Hashtag Elon, tag Elon, get him in here. Get him into the broadcast. I'll show him what he's missing out on, brother. I'll show him what he's missing out on, okay? And I'll figure something out. I'm pretty good at math. Probably not as good as NASA or anything else, but you know, you give me a wrench and you know, some tools, and you know, I'll figure something out. I'll get him to Mars. Don't you worry. Don't you worry, Elon. I'll get you there. As we'll take a look back here, a couple other drivers running into issues. We did see Kyle Van Tassel, unfortunately, going off the racetrack here in the 13 ride. Let's take a look back and see what happens here. The 13 gets loose out of corner number 1. Unfortunately, gets down and into the inside fence right there. A tough break for the Ridge Powersports number 13 ride. And another Ridge Powersports ride running into issues. It's the 76 of Jeremy Lucy. Up and over the cushion right there, over the rumble strips and the chicanes. There in corner number 7. Bobby Blair, maybe right in tow, doing the exact same thing here, just going into that runoff. And this is a legal maneuver for these drivers. So we talked about them going off the track there. That's just because that's what iRacing shows us. That's what they classify as off the track. But that's a legal runoff there out of corner number 7. We see NASCAR and everyone else in all the series. They use that paved banking there and kind of miss that corner, widen it out a little bit, get more speed, carry more speed through the center of that corner, and get a little better drive off right there. So nothing bad there with that one. We did see Neil Lapidus potentially run into issues. No, it's the same thing here for Lapidus. Watch him send it in there, goes up the cushion here and uses that little extra bit right there to help him along his way. Unfortunately for him, got in there a little too hot and allows the 19 ride to go right around him here. As I do believe, there you go, you're going to see Neil Lapidus actually take his ride on down pit side. We also see our race leader heading down pit road here as well. So here we go, Jacob Grube down onto pit lane. Ooh, baby, a little bit of green flag. Pit stop's about to get underway here once again. 19 laps left to go in this feature event, so 19 more laps for these drivers, and he comes down pit side with a 30-second lead, almost 30 seconds between himself and Nicholas Snyder. Snyder, though, down the front straightaway is going to make that pass, so he is going to take that race lead away from Jacob Grooves. Sean Jensic going to go around him there as well, as now you see the 18 finally getting set loose, and he's going to roll back out onto the racetrack here. Now he's going to be the driver at the little bit of a disadvantage here. He's going to build up this speed and try to hunt down those drivers in front of him here. Now I'm not sure if Snyder and Jensic will have to make a trip down pit side here themselves. I do believe everybody's still going to have to make one pit stop, as here comes Nathan Nixon down pit road here in the 33. So the Sparkle is Shine Anything EC machine will pit here from inside the top 10, and he'll head down to his pit box here on the speedway and get some work done to it as Nicholas Snyder leads the way here. We'll have to wait and see how long Snyder can stay out, how long he can keep himself here at the front of the field, or how long it may take Jacob Grube just to catch these guys and roll right on around them. Now we have seen the fall off grow a little bit here for some of these drivers, and we'll have to wait and see what the entire fall off is going to be for all these cats. As we did see Jacob Grube throughout this race actually hit a 1:11 second here, so down into the 1 minute and 11 second bracket for the quickest lap time on the day. Let's wait and see if the fresh tires here for Jacob Grube can pay off and find that same speed here once again, as he's trying to reel him in, and he is reeling him in a quick hurry. I don't know if it's the fresh tires or what it may be, but Jacob Grube, he came back onto pit road. He had a couple seconds at least between himself and Sean Jensic, and now you see Grube all over Jensic's back bumper, and Grube already looking to get back around the 29 ride, looking to the outside, going to try to the inside, And outside again, down through the bus stop, couldn't quite find a lane or a run to take it away from him. And now he's going to be right there on his back bumper. See if he tries to outbrake him down into corner number 7 here in this one. Gets a great drive off of the bus stop right there in the 6th corner, and unfortunately tucks back in line, does not go for that pass there on Sean Jensick. But I do believe we're going to see Nicholas Snyder this time come down pit side. So the HendrickCars.com number 57 and Nicholas Snyder are going to come down pit road. Here comes Sean Jensick as well. They could not wait any longer, and that is going to give the race lead back to Jacob Grube. So Grube will lead another lap, and he'll pick right up where he left off as he's able to pull away. We'll see our 4th place driver, Nick Gardner, head down pit side. Here comes Brandon Deming in the 77. So everyone else in our top 5 now down pit road. Here comes our 6th place driver, Michael Madden. Let's wait and see if everyone else decides to come down pit side, but nonetheless, Snyder and Jensick both on pit lane here, and Jacob Grube continuing to just pull farther and farther away from. There you go, Nick Snyder, 2nd truck out of pit lane here in that 2nd spot on the speedway, and as he starts to roll back into power and gets back up to speed, we'll have to wait and see what the official gap is between himself and Jacob Grube. I do believe it's still about that 30-second area, so no gain, no real loss there for Nicholas Snyder, and same with Jacob Grube, not really losing anything by taking his trip down pit side, man. Some exciting racing, some great action out there, and Jacob Grube is just pulling away from everybody, man. He is leaving them in the dust. So we do see Dingle down pit road. The Dingle Arsh Whiskey making his green flag pit stop. Here comes Kevin Winker in the 42. He's also going to head down pit road. As these drivers all start to get their final green flag pit stop in, unfortunately a lot of these drivers will find themselves going either a lap down or multiple laps down here, as the 18 ride of Jacob Grube continuing to just impress everybody here this afternoon, continue to lay down some great lap times out there on the speedway. Last time around ran a 12:63, absolutely insanely good lap time here. A couple of those drivers that were staying out a little longer, like Robert Blair, last time around was a 1:14.61, so virtually 2 seconds a lap quicker for Jacob Grube over the 75 rider Robert Blair. Now that is a lot of track time, that is a lot of track position to be giving up every single lap with the older tires, the older equipment, but maybe just not having that good of a truck here, as well as you do see the 18 going to click another lap off, this time down across the start finish line here, and there you go, 15 laps left to go. 15 laps here for Grube to get it done, as he's got a 1.77 second lead between himself and Nicholas Snyder. Snyder's got about 3 seconds between himself and Sean Jensick. Jensick has been trying to hunt him down, trying to work himself back into the 2nd position here on the speedway, and he was hoping early in this race, after taking the initial start and taking that race lead from Jacob Grube. We saw this 29 ride lead the first couple laps out there on the racetrack, but then we see him having to make that pass-through penalty. It was from 1st all the way back to 16th, and definitely not a place that he wanted to be, as he goes all the way back to 16th position, and he's been paying the price ever since then. Unfortunately, he's been kind of stuck back there, and now trying to work himself up and through the traffic and trying to navigate himself through all the chaos and mayhem out there on the speedway, and trying to keep on hunting down our race leader. Unfortunately, he continues to keep on losing ground to that number 18 right out there on the racetrack. It was Jacob Grube. Grube out in front. He's just having a fun day, man. This is a Sunday cruise for the Michaels Warrior Project number 18 riders. See if we can ride on board here a little bit. Let's see if we can get a cool perspective. There's a pretty cool look here of that 18 rider. Let's get a good look right there at the Michaels Warrior Project. Right, that Chevy Silverado down the back straightaway here into the bus stop, able to make that move as Austin Gustin going to pull over and let him go by and try not to affect his race at all there. And you see the 18 nice and easy over the gains through that bus stop, down through corner number 6 here, and getting a great run. And now he's going to head down this second bit of a straightaway here. This is where he can build a lot of speed, a lot of momentum, and now you got to get a little bit harder onto the binders here. Down through corner number 7, a little short straightaway. Able to put the power down for a couple seconds, and then hard back onto the brakes. Down low, up to the outside wall here, and down the front straightaway at the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway. Now you watch him go down into corner number 1. This is a scary place. You can pick up a lot of speed down that front straightaway, and then all of a sudden you got to make that quick right-hand turn, the 90-degree bend right there, and then all of a sudden you got to build up that speed again and go through the S's here. And this is a big uphill area. The trucks can get very light on the rear end, and as you round and get out of the S's, here we go, down the back straightaway and right back down into the bus stop. Let's watch him hit this bus stop one more time. A little fluke there, a little fluke there, and then nice and easy, and makes all the right moves, and the 18 ride finds himself out in front and sitting pretty here on the speedway. As man, he's just doing everything perfectly, not making any mistakes, and that's virtually what you need, and that's how you build a 32-second lead on Nicholas Snyder and Sean Jensick, as Jensick still trying to reel in this 57 ride. He's still trying to reel him in. He was about 6-7 seconds back behind the 57 of Nicholas Snyder. He's only about 2.5 seconds back now of that 57 ride, but does he have enough time to reel in Snyder and try to battle back into position number 2 here this afternoon? Nick Gardner quite a ways back there behind him. He scored in that 4th spot with Brandon DeMing, Nathan Nixon, Jason LePan, and Michael Madden are top 8 here on the speedway. Bobby Blair back here in position number 9. Robert Blair, unfortunately, the first truck 1 lap down out there on the racetrack. Jeremy Lucy right there behind him is our second driver, a lap down there on the speedway as well. Dangle down there in 11th with Chris Gilbert, back in 12th. Nathaniel Ostrowiski, Austin Gustafson, Edward Kochersberger are top 15 with Kevin Winker, Ryan Peterson, Brent Summers, Neil Van Tassel, Jonathan Herbert, Neil Lapidus, Ryan Chu bringing up the rear of the field here this afternoon. As it's all group, it's a big group fest here this afternoon. As these drivers, there was a lot of drivers that probably expected to have a good performance and potentially battle for the race win here this afternoon, but I don't know if anyone except for Jacob Grube and maybe his team knew that this 18 ride had this within them here this afternoon, had the the pace, had the power, the tenacity, and the trying to just keep yourself calm, cool, and collective out there on the speedway, trying to have that clutch to finish out this race. And right now, he's been doing a great job all evening long, leading the most laps, and just keep on pounding these laps back and putting a lot of these drivers a lap down as he's trying to reel in the 15 ride here of Michael Madden. Madden just into the bus stop there. And our race leader not too far back there behind him, now into the buses himself, as right in front of him we see Jason LePan now back into 7th as LePan falls to the 7th position, allowing Nathan Nixon and Brandon DeMing both around that number 20 ride. So a tough break right there for Jason LePan as he does slide all the way back into position number 7. A heartbreaker right there for LePan. He was up inside the top 5 for a lot of this race, but now finds himself there in that 7th position. We'll have to wait and see if he can try to find that extra gear a little later in this race. Maybe try to get some pointers, some cue notes here from his teammate in the Michaels Warrior Project number 18 ride. Maybe Group can help him out a little bit, try to figure out that 20 ride just a little bit more out here on the speedway, and see if he can jump back up there and work himself back inside the top 5 here this afternoon for Jason LePan. But nonetheless, still a very good run, solid performance there out of that 20 ride as he's looking to try to punch his ticket into the next round of our playoffs here with the HCK Beagles Truck Series, powered by beautiful Michaels Warrior Project, Ridge Powersports, AR Gutters, Winker, I'm drawing a blank here now, chat. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank. This is not good. TrackDogs.net, that was another one that I was thinking of, and Ranger Creative Concepts. That's the other one that was on the tip of my tongue there. I just could not get the words out there. As a Ranger Creative Concepts crew coming on board with us here this year. Huge shout out to them as we're going to get a quick commercial break here. We're going to get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Ranger Creative Concepts right now. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, don't go anywhere as we got less than 10 laps left to go. We'll be back here in a couple laps and we'll catch the rest of this feature event.
I feel like I'm afraid to say how I feel, to know I let you down. These late nights turn to days, don't wanna let you down. With each breath we give away, it'll never be the same. I'm chasing somebody who won't ever ease the pain, but I don't want half of your heart, you can have it back if it's only half of your heart.
Alrighty, shout out there to our sponsors over at Ranger Creative Concepts here in this one. As out in front, it is still Jacob Group. He has not given up an inch out there on the racetrack and continues to take feet at a time as out to a 34-second gap now between himself and Jacob Group. And now he's also put down our 8th place driver, Michael Madden, a lap down as Madden. There in that 8th position finds himself a lap down. And you see our race leader trying to work himself around the 7 rider, Brett Summers. Summers all the way back in the 17th position here. Not the run that Summers was hoping for, or a driver like Kevin Winker, Ryan Peterson, Austin Gus, and a lot of drivers that are in that playoff hunt, in that playoff battle here this afternoon, not having the runs or the performances that they were hoping for here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. But Jacob Group, he's loving every single second of it as he's able to put some of these fast trucks back there behind him, put them laps down, and every time you can be able to jump up there and put some of these guys a lap down like Michael Madden or Bobby Blair, Daniel Dow, Chris Gilbert, any of these guys, man, you can put a lap down there and put them back there behind you and kind of as non-threat out there on the racetrack is always a very good bonus. Now, we don't normally see drivers like those guys go a lap down unless if, you know, they run into an issue or have an accident or have to go down pit side for an unscheduled pit stop at any of our oval racetracks. But you're at Watkins Glen, no caution flags, just non-stop racing action, and a lot of drivers can go a lap down in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. But right now we only got 7 drivers left on the lead lap as we do see Jason LePan work himself around that 33 rider Nathan Nixon. So LePan able to get one of those spots back, and now back into the 6th spot as Nixon slides back to that 7th spot here on the speedway. Now they are not too far away from our race leader Jacob Grube either. Grube is not too far back there behind them here. He is about half a straightaway back from trying to put down Jason LePan and Nathan Nixon here as the laps continue to click down, this time by the start finish line. 6 more laps left to go. Now 6 laps, it seems like a long time, it seems like a big gap here. We may not see him catch those 2 drivers, but I don't know, man, the pace that he is continuing to put out, he might catch him, man. He may catch Nathan Nixon and Jason LePan and put more of our lead lap drivers a lap down out there on the racetrack, and maybe even more. You know, Brandon DeMing, you know, he's very close to going a lap down. Nick Gardner as well. He's over a second behind our race leader, and it's 34 seconds between first and second. And right there you do see that number 29 ride, Sean Jensick. Jensick has been tracking down this 57 machine and Nicholas Snyder for a lot of laps, trying to just at least get that one additional spot, trying to gain that one extra point out there on the racetrack and trying to beat Nicholas Snyder, keep him back there behind you and help put you through to the next round of our Michael's Warrior Project HCK Beagles Truck Series playoffs here this year. And I see Snyder trying to use the 45 ride, trying to get around him, put at least a car between himself and that 29 of Sean Jensick. Jensick, though, going to make quick work of that 45. Now here comes Daniel Dow. Dow trying to keep himself up there in front of that 57 machine. Unfortunately, not going to have any room right there, and he will slide back to position number, he's back in, where's Daniel Dow? Dow's all the way back in the 11th spot here on the speedway, so a tough break there for the Toyota number 2 machine. As out in front, Grube, 5 laps left to go in this race as he heads down the back straightaway once again. Still pulling away, still adding more time between himself and Nicholas Snyder. It's up to 35.3 seconds now between first and second here on the speedway, as he tries to hunt down more and more of our lead lap drivers. Nathan Nixon right there in front of him, slowly but surely getting into striking distance here. With a second and a half, you do see that 20 ride of Jason LePan, as LePan trying to hunt down the 77 of Brandon DeMay, and Nick Gardner is there not too far out of touch as well here late in this race. As Grube down across the line, he will click off another lap here at Watkins Glen International Speedway. 4 more laps left to go. 4 more laps here for the 18 ride of Jacob Grube. So this is going to be very, very interesting. This is going to be very fun to see what Grube can do here late in the race, man. He's kind of on cruise control. He doesn't need to push this car. He can take it easy. He doesn't have to run, record-breaking lap times or anything else. He can kind of just center on cruise, kind of just chill out there on the racetrack and not really have to worry about anyone catching him, as he's got a lot of time between himself and second that he can play with. Almost 36 seconds now between himself and Nicholas Snyder and that number 29 of Sean Jensick. They're getting closer and closer to each other. Jensick is right there. This is a great battle brewing for position number 2 here on the speedway. And as these two drivers start to battle and fight here for that second spot, it may open up the door here more and more for Jacob Grube to extend that lead, as he is all over the back bumper here of the 33 ride of Nathan Nixon. Nixon trying to stay on the lead lap, but the 18 ride trying to take that lap from him here, trying to put him a lap down. And I don't know, I don't think the 33 ride's got much in the tank, even though he's the 7th place driver on the speedway, showing that he's got speed. He's a fast truck. He's in the top 30% of these drivers here this afternoon, but it just shows you the resilience and the power and everything else that this 18 ride has had. And here he is trying to put this 33 a lap down on the speedway. We'll see if he can make that pass and put another one of our lead lap drivers back there at bay. And right there, a little farther in front of our race leader, is our 6th place driver, Jason LePan. LePan, his teammate there in the Michael's Warrior Project number 20 ride. Sure, he'd love to stay on the lead lap here and maybe hope to get something late in this race. As here we go, battle, a big run down low for the 29 as Sean Jensick looks to take position number 2 away from Nicholas Snyder. Snyder slides back into that 3rd spot and so far hasn't put any pressure back on the 29 right. We'll have to wait and see down this back straightaway and into the bus stop if the 29 and the 57 will have a little bit of contact, or if the 57 will have anything to try to stick there with that 29. Unfortunately, doesn't quite look like it. It's still 2 very fast race trucks up inside the top 3, but Jensick able to just nudge out in front and take that spot away here as you see Snyder try to push the subject here, trying to get hard onto the throttle out of corner number 6 and kicking that rear end out. He's going to lose a couple more truck lengths there to the 29 of Jensick. It's a heck of a run, a heck of a recovery there for Sean Jensick. out into position number 2 is Jacob Grube in position number 1, looking to pick up the checker flag. Only a couple laps left to go here in this feature event. So Grube trying to pick up the win. He's on cruise control. He can sit back, he can relax, he can have his macchiato and not have to worry about a bump from behind, as not a lot of drivers have been able to catch him here this afternoon. But so far, this 33 ride has proved pretty difficult for our race leader to try to get around him here. Nathan Nixon not giving up the track position very easily, as he's still trying to hunt back down that 20 ride of Jason LePan as well. But I'm sure right now Jacob Grube is feeling pretty good as he's going to head down across the line. He will see that white flag fly. So one more time around here for Jacob Grube. 35.6 seconds, the difference now between himself and Sean Jensick. So 36 seconds here. That's a lot of time that the 18 ride downhill can probably just turn this truck off. Once he kind of gets out of the kind of out of the bus stop right there, he could probably just turn that truck into neutral and just coast it home, not even having to hit the brakes, just keep that foot rolling and not even have to worry about anything, man. Just throw it into neutral, turn the truck off, let this truck just keep on rolling, and he's going to be able to pick up a big win here in our second playoff race of the season. Is nice and easy down and out of the bus stop, around that big carousel, and down into our final couple corners here for Jacob Grube. As Grube down and into corner number 7, nice and easy down into our final corner here this afternoon from Watkins Glen International Speedway. The Michaels Warrior Project Truck Series, the house truck, the 18 of Jacob Grube, will pick up the checkered flag here from Watkins Glen International Speedway. Man, what a run and what a drive right there for Jacob Grube. And Grube able to get the job done. It was 34 seconds, even taking it easy there in those closing laps. Still 34 seconds between Jacob Grube and Sean Jensick out there on the speedway. Jensick still hasn't finished yet. Here he is going through that final corner, nice and easy. Now he'll head down the front straightaway, and here comes our second place driver, Sean Jensick. Jensick there in second. A little farther back behind him, we see that 57 of Nicholas Snyder. So Snyder will come home in third. A little farther back, we see the Napa Auto Parts number 16 of Nick Gardner, as Gardner down and into the couple corners here himself. He's going to bring basically the rest of our lead lap drivers right there with them, as down through our final corner and across the line, Nick Gardner will come home in position number 4. Brandon Domingue there in 5th. Jason LePan down the front straightaway will come home in 6th. And Nathan Nixon right there to round out the field in our lead lap drivers in position number 7. Michael Madden back in 8th with Robert Blair there in 9th, and Jeremy Lucy rounding out our top 10. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for the 18 machine of Jacob Grube. As Grube able to pick up the win, he will get ready to pull this ride into victory lane here this evening at the beautiful Watkins Glen International Speedway. It's the Michaels Warrior Project number 18 machine picking up the big win here in playoff race number 2. We'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews. Alrighty, waiting for Mr. Grube to hop in there. We'll see when he gets in here. I don't know where he is. Oh, he's down in his booth. Let me see if we can pull him in here, chat. There he goes. He's up here now. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner, Jacob Grube. Hey, Jacob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, Aaron.
Jacob, man, what a run, what a drive, man. I know it's Tuesday, but that looked like a bit of a Sunday cruise out there on the speedway, as you were just taking it nice and easy here through North, New York State, and just enjoying the scenery and having some fun out there on the speedways. You bring it home with a 34-second race lead here over Sean Jensick to pick up the win here at Watkins Glen, man. Take us back through this race. What's going through your mind out there after 55 long laps, but fun laps for you as you're able to stretch that lead out more and more and more.
Thanks, Aaron. Well, yeah, I think it started in qualifying, so I wanted to start out with good track position. So was able to knock down the pole, and then I knew Sean Jensic was gonna have to serve a penalty, unfortunately. So my strategy was to just not get into a battle with him, let him, lead if he wanted to, and then he'll pit, and then just kind of pace myself. And from there, it's just watching out for the lap traffic and not making any mistakes getting on and off pit road. So good fun.
Absolutely don't want to have that mistake down on pit road, but even if you did, if you had that 30-second hold, you still would have won this race by 4 seconds. But I know you didn't want to have to worry about that or stress having that 29 right of Sean Jensic or Nicholas Snyder trying to close that gap or trying to run you down here late in this race, as I'm sure they probably weren't having as much fun as you were here out there on the racetrack, as you were laughing and enjoying your time and picking off a lot of drivers, but a lot of drivers a lap or multiple laps down, as there was only 7 drivers left on the lead lap here to finish off this evening's race, man. That's a heck of a performance and a heck of a showcase of just how quick you were and how quick this truck was here all evening long.
Yeah, thank you. I have a lot of fun here at Watkins Glen, especially in stock cars. It's just one of my things that I really like to do. So that helps, and just been coming here on iRacing for many years, so got lots of experience here, but we still had to put in the work this week, several hours of practice and working with the team to get get that pole lap, so I could get that track position, and then just getting that practice so that I could feel comfortable with maintaining a fast pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we saw throughout this race, you and Jensic were kind of in a league of your own, man. We saw you guys running some very good lap times out there on the speedway. If Sean didn't have that penalty, at the start of this race, do you think things would have worked in a little differently, or do you think you would have had your work cut out for you tonight to try to hold that 29 ride back there at bay?
Honestly, I couldn't say. I mean, me and Sean Jensic were having a great battle at Mid-Ohio, and just going back and forth. So I think we're just very close on pace when it comes to road courses and these trucks. So I don't know. I think it could have gone either way. He's definitely very competitive. So it's anybody's guess who would have won had he not got that penalty. So that's pretty unfortunate. I'm glad he's able to work his way back up and get a second place. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Great drive there throughout this race for Sean, but an even better ride for yourself and picking up this win in playoff race number 2 here in the Michael's Warrior Project HCK Beagles Truck Series here. Jacob, what does this win mean for you, man? Knowing that you're able to pick up this win this afternoon, how does that help you in the points here? Does it move you into the next round of our playoffs with the win automatically, or do you just gain those points and have that extra little bit of a cushion going into that third race before we eliminate a lot of drivers here in the series for our playoffs?
Yeah, it was good to have a good race, because the first round I did not have a good race, and so I finished somewhere like in the 20s or something like that. So I needed to have a really good solid finish here, and then I should be in pretty good shape. I just need to start the next race and finish at least in the top 15 or so, and I should be okay.
Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack next Tuesday. But Jacob, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this afternoon from Watkins Glen?
I just want to thank the team and Michael's Warrior Project giving me a lights out Chevy Silverado here tonight. So thanks everybody. Thanks to you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening and don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Jacob Grube. His Grube picks up the win here this afternoon. A heck of a run, heck of a drive right there for him, as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. My boy Justin Young says congratulations there to Mr. Grube on his win this afternoon. Heck of a run there for Mr. Grube. But we're going to pull Jensic, our second place finisher, in here for his post-race interview. Hey, Sean, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
I got you.
Sean, brother, man, a great run, a great race here for you. Unfortunately, having that pass-through penalty early on in this one kind of took you out of it here with no caution flags, no stage breaks, no nothing. You had a ton of track position to make back, and slowly but surely, you're able to click all these cars back and gain all those positions. You went from first back to 16th, and here you are at the end of the evening, back up into second, but unfortunately, that gap between you and Jacob Group, way too much for you to be able to try to battle with him for the race win this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really complain with coming home second given the circumstances there. I mean, that 18's fast. I mean, it would have been a much better show without that penalty, but you know, still kept me on my toes all night driving through the field. I mean, there was definitely a couple times there where I was like, all right, I need to tone it back down a little bit so I can actually go finish this race. Um, but I mean, it would have been a good race between the two of us. So it's just unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely. Said the same thing as we were watching the times. We were seeing, you two putting up a lot of identical lap times out there. It would have been anyone's game. It would have been a heck of a battle to see you two duke it out once again here on a road course. But the penalty, unfortunately, hurting you here in this one. But a heck of a drive, man. Being able to work yourself back up through the traffic, not giving up on the race here this afternoon, as I'm sure a lot of drivers will be sitting back there in that 16th position and seeing all the laps ahead of them and just, maybe giving up on the night or just, setting it on cruise control and not really pushing it to get back through the field and back into a second place run like you did here this afternoon.
Yeah, I know. I mean, the goal I kind of set for myself coming into this race was try and finish second and see where that goes. I know that 57 he's got some speed on him too, so obviously it wasn't an easy task getting back up to him, catching him, passing him, but we got it done. Did what I wanted to do today, but just need one of those lap cars to go take out that 18, just like I have in Mid Ohio. But it is what it is. Good race to him. He's unless something drastic, a big unfortunate event like that happened to him. I mean, there was no way he wasn't losing this one tonight. So.
Absolutely. But Sean, you come home in position number 2, man. A heck of a run, heck of a drive here for yourself. Who would you like to thank here this evening for such a great performance at Watkins Glen?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I'd like to thank Sparkle and Shine, anything you see. Sean over there, I mean, he does a whole lot for our whole team. I'd like to thank Rev Racing teammates. It's been rough trying to get a bunch of these races in for all of us together. So glad we were able to get back together. All 5 of us here today, which was nice. All 5 of us will be here next week too, which is always fun getting back into it, especially in the playoffs like this. I'd like to thank you up here in the booth, putting on this broadcast. I know you run into some issues, so I'm glad you got that going for tonight. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad I got that going, and glad I was able to get in here, man. As I was flipping out again, man. I don't know what that issue is or what it is with iRacing, but now it's got me nervous, man. Every single time before a broadcast, I'm loading in about an hour or so beforehand just to make sure that everything's working. And if I have to delete it and reinstall it again, then I have ample amount of time to try to get through all those issues. But Sean, a great run, a great drive here this afternoon for yourself, man. Congratulations on the second place finish, and we can't wait to see you and your Rev Racing teammates back out there on the Speedway next Tuesday.
Yeah, hopefully be back up here talking to you.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place driver, Sean Jensick. Sean coming home there in position number 2. A great run and a great drive there for him as we're going to pull in our third place finisher here, the number 57 of Nicholas Snyder. Let's pull Nick up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Nick, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Nick, hey, man, another good run, another good race here for you in this one, man. Obviously, a lot of speed in that 57 ride here this evening, but Grube and Jensick, again, proving that, they're on a bit of a different level here when it comes to these road courses, man. Obviously, we saw Group pull away and open a huge lead there, between the two of you, and then slowly but surely, Sean coming back from that pass-through penalty to take that second spot back away from you there late in this race. I know you were trying to keep him back there, trying to hold him off, and unfortunately, he was able to jump up in those closing laps and snag that second spot from you. But you got to be pretty happy with a solid third-place run and keeping all these other drivers back there at bay.
Yeah, I'm happy with the podium finish. I just, I was trying to hold off Sean as much as I can. I just had three major slides and just caught lap traffic at the wrong time, and he was able just to close in a second every time I catch a lap car at the wrong time. And I knew it was going to be close. It's just when he got close, I just had to start pushing harder, and the rear tires did not like it at all. I just, like I said, I tried to hold him back. I had nothing for that 18 car. That 18 car is in his own ballpark. You could put an anchor behind his truck and it would still have us by 2-3 seconds a lap. But anyways, like I said, good night. Happy with third place and collecting those points.
Yeah, absolutely. Collecting those points, having yourself another podium finish here, and knowing that the playoffs and all these points mean so much, and everything else, man. What does this mean for your playoff hopes and moving on to the next round here with a good run in race number 2 of the first round here of the HCK Beagles Michael's Warrior Project Truck Series here this year?
It's looking good. Just at the start, obviously, and I think I can get away with an 18th place finish or better. We're going to, I think, Bristol next week, so that's a track that I'm pretty good at, and it suits more of my driving style than these road course racing.
Yeah, absolutely. Bristol going to be a very exciting race, being one of those cutoff races, but having that little bit of a cushion, you can, you still have a bit of a bad night and still be able to make it in with just an 18th place finish or top 15 and be able to take it easy and not have to worry too much about it. But I know we're going to see you and Sean and Jacob all battling up there towards the front of the field again, and it's going to be a lot closer racing, a lot more tighter racing, and be a lot more fun than I think what Watkins Glen produces. But it was a fun race watching you guys battle out there on the road course, not only having to turn left but turn right out there, and you're able to come home with a very solid run here in this one. Nick, who would you like to thank for a great run and great performance here tonight?
I'd just like to thank the whole HCK people for allowing us to race and racing as a group, as as we're just one big family. Thank you to Ryan and Greg and all the admins that take their time and run this league. Without them, we wouldn't be racing on a Tuesday night, and you won't be able to broadcast. But I gotta also thank you yourself for taking your Tuesday night for broadcasting the race, and just everybody that took the time to watch tonight.
Absolutely, brother. Well, hopefully everyone tunes in and watches next Tuesday, as well as we'll see all these drivers back in action and all the fun there at Bristol Motor Speedway. And hopefully, Nick, we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth. Maybe a couple spots better from your podium run here this evening and up in Victory Lane next week.
Yeah, you can only hope. But like I said, it's Bristol. Anything can happen. Lap traffics really don't play a key next week.
Absolutely. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. It's going to be exciting to see what you guys can do. And, Nick, hopefully another good run, another good finish for you, and another trip up here into the broadcast booth. But congrats on the third place run here tonight. We'll see you back out there next Tuesday.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Nicholas Snyder as Nicholas coming home there in position number 3. A great run and a great drive there for the number 57 ride here this afternoon. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here this afternoon, man. Some great racing, some great action all night long, and these drivers put on one heck of a show for us, man. That was a ton of fun, a ton of great racing, man, and hopefully, you know, we're going to see more of the same of that tomorrow afternoon as we're going to be loading back in. We're going back to the dirt track as our Pro Late Model Series for the Hell Tour, I do believe is what they're calling it. No, they're calling it the Cody Williams Designs Hell Tour. So the Hell Tour back in action tomorrow night. We're going to see a lot of great drivers back in attendance, battling and duking it out for only a few spots into our A main feature event, and then another great show, another great race here tomorrow night on Peacemaker Gaming. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button for me. Hit the like, hit that share, hit that follow and subscribe button, and make sure you turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But that will do it for us here this evening from Watkins Glen International Speedway. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for watching, and I'll see y'all back here tomorrow night. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Beagles on the track, rolling engines never slack, racing on, no looking back, on the hunt for victory's knack. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight, asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaining light so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race, feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might. Trucks flying through the night, NASCAR dreams within our sight, asphalt heroes in the fight, peacemakers gaming life so bright. Revving it up, feel the pace, speed hounds in the race, feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Thrill the place, thrill the place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste, feel the thrill, feel the chase, victory is our holy place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Throttle down, no time to waste, in this high-octane haste, in this high-octane haste, every corner, every taste, leads us closer to first place. Under lights, the engines scream, this is more than just a dream. Through the asphalt like a beam, racers' hearts with fervor gleam. In this game we find our might, push the pedal like the night. With each lap our spirits flight, racing on with all our might.